citronella essential oil. Now, I love citronella because a lot of people are familiar with it, but I like it because of its fresh, aromatic scent, a little bit lemony. And it's a little bit different than lemongrass, even though many times people confuse lemongrass and citronella together, but its chemistry is very different. One of the primary things that citronella, for example, is known for is its repellent properties. And so this is a wonderful essential oil that you can apply topically. You can put it in a spritzer or a spray, and that's probably how most people have used citronella in the past, and maybe where your own experience with citronella is. However, like all essential oils, there's other benefits that we can find. It's rare that we have something that's only good for just one or two things. So I'd like to highlight a couple of more areas where we could think about using citronella. Now, a lot of times we find ourselves in circumstances where we have a lot of tissue discomfort or there's irritation that's happened. This is a wonderful essential oil to be able to apply topically. Now, if you use the oil this way, I would encourage you to also dilute the essential oil. Now, that's not because somehow this oil is irritating to the tissues or that it's caustic in any way, but rather because we want to localize the effect and the benefit. So apply it topically right where you need it. Now, there's some other benefits that come from this essential oil in that it's really clarifying and cleansing to the tissues themselves. And so here's some other ways that you can think about using this particular essential oil. Now, a good combination is to combine cilantro and tea tree essential oil together along with the citronella. And it sounds crazy to say, but if your feet are looking a little disrupted, that might be a good way where you can apply it. And I like applying this combination directly to the toenails or the toenail beds. That's a good way to be able to use this oil. You can also use it with your favorite face wash. Use it as a natural cleanser for the skin. It blends really, really well with wood essential oils. And that's a broad category when we say wood oils, but there's a lot of different wood oils that you can use. Add it to a shampoo for healthier looking hair, and don't forget you can even use this for your pets, and it'd be very supportive for them in like way as it would be for you. I also like diffusing this essential oil, and there's some good reasons why we might want to diffuse this essential oil. Aroma is very powerful, and I feel like many times we overlook the benefits that come from aroma specifically. However, in this case, we want to use the aroma for some very specific things, one of which is to help stimulate a normal appetite. Now, we know that aroma interacts directly with the hypothalamus, and not to get too technical, but the hypothalamus is how we control appetite. And one of the things that we've seen is a normalization of good, healthy appetite when we diffuse citronella essential oil. Wonderful to diffuse. You can cup your hands together, breathe in the aroma, and don't forget to use it topically in the ways that we've mentioned. So I'd like to introduce another essential oil to you. I'm going to talk with you now about celery seed. Now, I really am excited about celery seed for a lot of different reasons. You can use this topically, you can use it aromatically, so it has very broad spectrum activity. But since we're talking about digestion, I'd like to talk very specifically about how we might use this new oil for some very specific areas of the digestive and urinary tract. So let's talk about some key protocols that we might turn to. Let's talk a little bit about how the body supports itself in an immune sense. Now let's look at the stomach, because remember what we talked about. We said that about 70% of your body's immune capability is coming from the digestive tract. Now that includes both the stomach and it includes the intestinal tract. And so we have some susceptibility that exists there all the time. And using celery seed is one of the ways that we can instill a natural, healthy defense to be protective of those two very delicate and critical areas that in and of themselves provide the defense that we need in an immune capability. And so here's another way that we can use celery seed. Use it in the morning, use it in the evening. Now you can put this in your water if that's what you would like to do. You can do that as well. And sometimes combining with other essential oils gives us additional benefit that we wouldn't otherwise have. If you're having some challenges or problems with stomach upset or other difficulties, this would be an essential oil along with some of the combination I talked about that could be really helpful and beneficial for you. So take some time to learn more about celery seed and figure out how it can most benefit you. Those are some of my very favorite uses. Let's talk about another group of essential oils that I'm sure you're already familiar with, eucalyptus oils. Now, eucalyptus aren't new. They're not something that we're unfamiliar with, and you probably have lots of experience with eucalyptus oils. Everyone knows, for example, eucalyptus oils are wonderful for respiratory support. And even though there's several different species of eucalyptus oils, in general, there's only 3 that primarily are utilized within the essential oils and the essential oil community as a whole. And so let's talk about those just briefly. One is Eucalyptus globulus, one is Eucalyptus radiata, and then there's Eucalyptus citrodora, lemon eucalyptus, and that's a brand new essential oil for us. And so let me do some comparison, because many times with the essential oils, one of the things that we do is you'll find that we have several different that seem to have similar benefits, even though the oils themselves can be very different. And so now we have 3 different types of eucalyptus oils that you experience in doTERRA. So let's talk about Eucalyptus globulus. And so we use this typically within our blends. It has high amounts of eucalyptol, the highest of all of them, and we use it within the On Guard and we use it with Breathe. Now, what most people are familiar with is Eucalyptus radiata. And you can see that Eucalyptus radiata and Eucalyptus globulus have some similarity in that their primary compound is eucalyptol, even though Eucalyptus radiata has quite a bit less than what Eucalyptus globulus does, or globulus does. And so both of them can be used equally in terms of how we might perceive or want to use them topically. However, keep in mind that in the blends we have Eucalyptus globulus. And then lastly, we have the Eucalyptus citrodora. Now this is different. This is different than the other 2. The chemistry is very, very different as well. And so rather than we have a lot more eucalyptol, we actually have very little eucalyptol, and it's primarily citronellol. Now, citronellol is an aldehyde, and aldehydes have some very specific benefits for us. And this oil then is meant to be used aromatically and topically. Now, a lot of times, because I talk about citronellol, a lot of people believe, well, it's really similar to citronella essential oil, which we talked about a few minutes ago. And in fact, it is. They do have some similarities. And in fact, all of the ways that you can use citronella, you can also equally use lemon eucalyptus. But lemon eucalyptus, like all essential oils, has its own properties and its own unique features. So let me talk with you real briefly about the extracellular matrix, the ECM. I've talked about this many times. I've talked about how and what the construct of our tissues are within the body, and specifically skin. As you can see that I've illustrated here that we have elastin. And elastin in the extracellular matrix does exactly what you would believe it does. It gives your skin its elasticity. And then we have type 1 collagen, which gives it its strength and structure. And then we have fibroblasts, which are important for synthesizing both elastin and type 1 collagen. Now, there's a lot of different things we can do to support the extracellular matrix. And typically, we've always talked about wood oils and we've talked about flower oils, both being beneficial for the ECM. Lemon eucalyptus has some similar properties. And so combining lemon eucalyptus with maybe a cedar wood or jasmine, or choose your favorite wood or flower oil, is a great way that you can give some extra support to the skin. Now, don't forget that eucalyptus has some clarifying properties associated with it. And so think about eucalyptus in a face wash as well, would be something that you could do if you want to add a little bit of extra cleansing or clarifying capability. I like this combination of using with a wood or a flower oil. Now, your skin, just like many other areas of the body, has a lot of susceptibility. And one of the ways that we become most susceptible is through antioxidant capacity and a lack thereof. So we have free radical damage, and we now know and understand very clearly that premature aging of the skin takes place because of free radical damage. That's one of the many reasons. Now, a couple of years ago, we introduced to you Yarrow Palm, and one of the key features in Yarrow Palm was the pomegranate oil itself, which is a specialized form of conjugated linoleic acid. Now, linoleic acid has its own benefits. It's very supportive, very soothing, very healing to many components of the body, but it also has value for the skin, especially when we combine it with the yarrow essential oil. And so a great combination, once again, is to think about lemon eucalyptus along with yarrow palm. So apply it topically, use it for its protective qualities in an antioxidant capacity. The more we can protect the skin, the healthier the skin remains. Now, there's some other things you can do with lemon eucalyptus. Now, eucalyptus essential oils, in general, all of them that we've discussed, are very soothing to the tissues themselves. So localizing them, applying them directly onto the tissues where you would like to, it's very calming, very soothing, very relaxing to those tissues. Uplifting to the mood, lemon eucalyptus has a nice lemony scent, lemony aroma. It's a little bit different than the other two eucalyptus oils that we mentioned. And also combining it with a citrus or combining it with a mint essential oil is an excellent way to be able to take advantage. I hope you enjoy all of these essential oils. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in the future. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.